Jordan, who did you upset to get this job?
There's Peter.
I've missed you, Ron. All right, so maybe we can get going. It seems like the bulk of our guests or people who RSVP'd are with us. So welcome, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Jordan Lebel. I'm a professor of marketing at the John Molson School of Business. I served on the board for about 5 years, four of those years were as vice president under John Aylen. I had the great pleasure and honor of co-chairing the Tune In TS fundraiser with the wonderful and fantastic Tom Curry. And it's my pleasure to be your MC for tonight. I see everybody put their best pandemic hair and look on, at least those of us on the island. I, for one, got out a brand new pair of pajama bottoms, which I'm not going to model, don't worry. And just a few rules of engagement as we proceed. You'll be muted most of the time. Whoever has to speak is going to be unmuted. If you have questions or just want to throw out a comment or a cheer, we invite you to use the chat box. You do so by clicking on that little icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and you can ask a question. If you have some technical difficulty, that's also the place where you can write that up, and we'll try to assist you as best as we can. If you're not speaking, I invite you to mute yourself. You'll be muted automatically, but just from time to time, check your mic setting. Otherwise, we'll be picking up some noise in the background. I'm delighted to be here and to see some familiar faces. It's a well-known fact that if you've been involved with Yes, there's an elastic band attached to you for life. You people keep coming back because how wonderful and amazing the organization is. Amongst the many things we have to celebrate tonight, and it's a bit of the purpose of the event tonight, is to update you on the wonderful things that are going on and celebrate the 25th anniversary. But we have another reason to celebrate. Aki pointed it out to us. We're making history tonight. As a matter of fact, we are holding the first live online event ever put on at Yes. And I think this speaks volume to the courage, the speed and flexibility of the staff to turn around on a dime, make the most of some challenging circumstances. Not every nonprofit can pull that off. And I think the staff has pulled that off remarkably. So yet another reason to toast to Yes. So enough of my rambling. It's my honor now to pass it on to Aki. Aki is the executive director of Yes. I think pretty much everybody knows Aki, and he's joining us from the Yes office. He's holding fort, and all yours, Aki. And unmute yourself before you start speaking. Just a gentle reminder. Aki, you need to unmute.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jordan. This is strange, but it's still lovely. Our first, we're very good at putting on big events. So here we are, our 25th anniversary. And initially the plan was to do a usual Yes, nice event, but we had to pivot. So thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to make history. First time I'm ever doing any sort of anniversary or special event like this remotely. So it's certainly, it's a new frontier. Nice to see everybody. The joke is, please enjoy the wine, enjoy the canapes. Thank you for leaving your house to make the effort to come. So those are what I would say, the things I would say normally, but here we are in a new setting. This is your anniversary. This is a celebration of great work by some very committed people. Thank you for building what you've built and now enabling my generation as a new leader and a new generation of Yes staff to really pick up on this fantastic foundation that you all built. I was, as most of you know, most of my career was in community work, and Yes was always, one of those shining lights in community work. And Yes, partly because I got to know Yes through my good friend Iris, but in general, in community work, the reputation of Yes preceded it. And there was a time, we all remember the lean times in Quebec, the two referendums, the stories of family and friends choosing to leave Quebec and to start up lives somewhere else, which was very discouraging. I still, I have friends, Montrealers, who did just that and who live in Toronto or out west and have done very well. So Yes was the only organization that kind of stepped up to deal with that challenge. And so, and in my case as well, there was a personal angle to this, as the father of two young Quebec kids, my wife and I, our first choice was obviously for our kids to be able to establish themselves in Montreal and stay with us. So luckily that did happen. They didn't use Yes, but it was an important mission that Yes brought to the community. 25 years and 3 executive directors. That says a lot. That says a lot about how Yes brings out the best in us, and that as leaders and as Yes staff and volunteers, we're drawn to the mission. So I want to acknowledge, I didn't see everybody, but please bear with me. I think Joanne LaRouche is with us, who was the first executive director of Yes. So Joanne, I hope you're going to send me a note or something, but I hope you're with us. But thank you. You started the ball rolling. And then of course, Iris, my predecessor, executive director number 2, 18 years at Yes, who brought it up to such a high level to make it such a respectable actor in the community that has such impact. So a great legacy, Iris. Thank you very much. Of course, I'm not sure. So here, yes. Bill, you too, Bill. Thanks, buddy. I'm sure you had a big hand in this. I also, but mentioning the executive directors, myself included, we wouldn't be able to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish without, the support of you. The support, first of all, of our devoted volunteers who have been with Yes from the very beginning back in 1995. Who are always there when we need resources, when we need help, when we need advice, who always believe in us and who always return our calls right away. So, I really want to say thank you to some of you, specifically people that I got to know, like John Aylen and Rob Braid, some other people that I would really like to get to know you a little bit more. So Timothy Laney, your names always, I come across them when we look at the history of Yes, when we look at the accomplishments of Yes and the kind of networks that we build and the kind of partnerships that we build, the kind of resources that we were able to secure for Yes. All of you have always been there. So I really want to say that the job of Yes executive director cannot be done without such a strong network. And of course, we also, after 25 years, it's also nice to see always, the new blood that still comes to Yes. So I'd like to acknowledge new board members, Sam Bateman, Larry Markowitz. Larry's our board secretary, first-time board member. Again, continuing the tradition of giving back to the community and being very selfless, with their time, with their wisdom, and their commitment to Yes. As Iris, or actually Joanne probably would be in a better position to recall this, but when Yes first started, year number 1, it was an employment service provider. It was an employment service provider based in Montreal, serving youth, 150 youth, I believe, in the first year. And of course, Yes has evolved dramatically. Last year, we served 5,000 clients. We had over 20,000 service points. Somebody counted that if you look at over the 25 years, over 50,000 Quebecers benefited from our work. 50,000. And now, and the fact now that we are facing some really hard times, it's a credit to our know-how and to our ability that we're still operating, that we are still providing those services, even with COVID-19. And I'm reporting from the mothership, and I'm the only one, in the mothership. So, but the office is the office, and although the center had to close, what's important is that what we were able to do in the office, we're doing it now. So our business coaches are still working, supporting potential entrepreneurs. Our employment counselors are supporting people who are looking for work in a very difficult time. Our artist coach, there's people waiting to see our artist coach. That is so encouraging because it goes to the spirit of what we're doing, that it goes beyond bricks and mortar. And that is really the strength of an enduring organization. So COVID-19, some of the things that we've done to deal with COVID-19, we've put together specialized workshops that explain what kind of supports are out there for our clients and how they can access them. Our workshops are for free. We build our IT capacity so we can give proper access to as many people as possible to our workshops, and people are really responding. I mean, our workshops, the participation in our workshops has doubled, and it's still growing, and people are always telling us how they appreciate the fact that you still have that connection with us. So as you can see, it's a testament to something that's a recurring theme: being resourceful, being resilient, being connected to the community. And that, again, that takes a special culture, and it takes a special group of dedicated people, and that's certainly the strength that has carried us over the last 25 years. Right now for our job seekers, you can imagine the challenges when unemployment has reached a historic, like an unprecedented level. Our entrepreneurs, who are concerned about how do they pivot now to online service, how can they adapt so that their projects can go ahead. Our artists, how do artists, I mean, the bread and butter of an artist is to showcase your work and to be able to expose your work. How do you do that now in this era of social distancing? So these are the tangibles that we are dealing with right now. And again, I think it's important for everybody, especially the people that maybe are not with us on a daily basis, that you understand how we are still on the job and we're still providing our community the services that it needs. And I just a last point. It's so much more. We've become so much more than our workshops and our counseling. I'm referring to the networking events that we do, the entrepreneurship speaker series, some of the research that we have done that has addressed the issues around women in STEM, unemployment among Quebec English-speaking youth. These were groundbreaking initiatives that rallied the community and established YES as being a credible resource, a resource that really knows the problems and the challenges and has the ability to mobilize the required solutions. And very importantly, the tradition of being an honest broker and working with everybody in the community, from government to the smaller English-speaking communities outside of Montreal, right across Quebec. So I'm very proud, and later on maybe we'll have a chance to dive a little more into this history of the kind of community development and the kind of services that YES is associated with. But I want to stop there. I'm looking forward to hearing from others and to continuing this really great conversation. I'd like now to pass the floor to Doris Jurgens, current YES president. Doris.
Thank you, Aki. And honestly, it is so nice to see all of you. It's so much fun. A lot of you I haven't seen in a long time. Some of you I'm seeing for the first time, which is really interesting too. And I have to say, we have a very enthusiastic and dedicated executive director in Aki Chakov, as you can tell by his words just now. Aki, you've been executive director for just over a year now, and thank you for guiding the mothership, as you call it. But your commitment to the organization, your support for staff and clients is outstanding. And I have many thanks to give tonight. I've been tasked with thanking a whole lot of people. I hope I remember to thank everyone properly. But I would like to start by saying a heartfelt thanks to all of you out there online right now, and to the overall Yes community that's grown in depth and breadth over the years, and that really continues to care about the person, the individual that needs a bit of guidance. Truly, honestly, thank you to all of you for all of your dedication over the years. One of the things that stands out for me and that I hear over and over again, and that I'm witness to as well, is Yes's caring, personalized service. And I think that approach started with the foundations that were set by some of you here with us tonight, and that have helped build and shape the spirit of the organization over the years for our large community of friends and advocates. Yes began 25 years ago in 1995 in response to the drain of English-speaking youth who were leaving Quebec. I think young people bring vitality and energy to a community, in addition to being a lot of fun, and they make sure that that community is sustainable. So we need young people in our community, and it was back then a very viable objective and still is today. So in the beginning, Yes had a single focus: youth employment services, providing job services to young people. But just a year later, Charlie Crawford, and Charlie, I think I saw you on the screen tonight. Glad you're here with us. And Peter Johnson, you're here as well. Hi to you as well. You both recognized a need in the community and spearheaded the expansion to add entrepreneurship services in the English language, and not just for youth, but for people of all ages, basically. Aki mentioned it. In 2000, the Artists Program was created specifically for entrepreneurs whose line of business is in the arts. And this program is pretty unique, and it's still going strong. And it was also my introduction to Yes, and I was so impressed with it that I decided to help out with the organization. So that was in 2000. 2002, mentorship services came on board. In 2004, internship began. So, you know, it's clear to see that Yes really has its finger on the pulse of what's important in employment in Montreal and across Quebec. And I have to say, Yes staff have that innate sense of what's needed, as well as the will to find the way to make it happen. You know, lots of people come up with great ideas, very few make them happen. And if there's one thing that Yes staff do well, is they find the way to meet everybody's needs. So in recent years, we adapted our services to offer them online to reach a much more geographically diverse clientele. And thank goodness for that, especially now in COVID. It made it much easier for everyone to transition to online services. We're also managing large multi-year programs, either in employment or entrepreneurship, that target specific niche markets. That includes women in technology, women in STEM programs that have been running for about 12 years already. Our newest program, of which we're very proud, is the Elevate Women Entrepreneurs Project. Despite representing half the population, women are far, far fewer to start their own business. So our goal is to reach over 1,000 women entrepreneurs across the province and provide them with the tools, the services, the networks that they need to be successful entrepreneurs here in Quebec. Aki mentioned it as well. Beyond our services, Yes has also conducted important research and has also helped incubate new organizations where needed, like Youth for Youth Quebec and the Provincial Employment Roundtable, that's also known as PERT. Any of my fellow board members will know that I often say that there are a lot of moving parts at Yes now. Many programs, many projects, many initiatives and services. But still, at our core, you know, we want to help people have a successful career and make a home in our community. Our goal is really for all of our clients to enjoy success and a sense of purpose as part of the community and to contribute to the diversity and the success of our economy. And so that's where I think a lot of you come in. It's because of our volunteers and our supporters over the years, whether you're committee members, conference or workshop speakers, mentors, donors, fundraisers, funders, board members, advisors, supporters, and of course our staff. You know, it takes a lot of you, and it's because of all of you that we're able to help so many people make Quebec their permanent home. So I'm going to take a moment to recognize my predecessors, YES's past presidents, Jim Hughes, Charlie Crawford, Brent Walker, I saw you're here today. Hi, Brent. Angela Burleton, Harold Simpkins, I see you out there as well. And of course, John Aylen. John, where would I be without you? As well as some of our advisors who've been with YES since the beginning. Peter Johnson, Lionel Blanchy, Scott Conrad, you're there as well. I saw Charlie again, Michael Hamlin, Brent Walker, Nancy Wells, John Aylen, Tim Lane, and the late Don Wells and Erwin Steinberg were also at the table. I've also seen some of our longtime supporters with us here tonight. Hi to Nancy Kleeman, to Ron Drennan, to Michael Eskenazi, Luciano, hi out there, Luciano Diorio, Chris Emergy, and Andy Nolman, our Tune Into YES host like no other. And of course, I absolutely have to do a shout out to one very special person here tonight, Iris Unger. I think if YES is as strong as it is today, if it serves so many clients as well as it does, and if our foundations and values remain at the core of what we do, I think it's thanks in no small part to Iris's vision and dedication in her 17 years at the helm of YES. And Iris, you're still active with the organization, so a huge thanks to you. I have learned an awful lot by your side. I also have two recent board members that I've worked with that I would like to thank. They both remain active YES committee members and supporters, and I'd like to name Anthony Broccolini and Chad Lowen. Thank you to both of you. Aki, if you want to hold up the plaques.
Okay.
This is our,
So
go
you
ahead.
want to read it, Doris?
Oh, I can't read that. It's
No,
on
I
glass.
was going to read it.
You can read it, yes.
Yeah, okay. So Chad Loven, in recognition, appreciation of your ongoing commitment and dedicated service, thank you for contributing to our success.
Thanks, Aki. That's very kind. Thank
Oh,
you for
hey, Chad.
everyone. Very good to see you all again.
So
Including
this is
that I haven't seen in quite a while.
Yeah, so this is our new tradition, just to make sure that our departing board members remember us and their friends at YES. So, you know, we've shared some big numbers with you tonight about the thousands of clients that we've helped over 25 years. But I do think it's important to remember that behind each of those numbers, there's a person, someone YES has helped move forward on their career path in Quebec. And for me, it's always fascinating to cross paths with YES alumni, just to see how well so many of them have done. And I really like to see our clients become engaged with the organization in a different way. So I just want to point out three of them to you tonight. Ashley Gilmore is a client who has gone on to work with YES for video production. You might have seen her work at some of the Tune Into YES events. Jessica Knapp, a former entrepreneurship client. Jessica, I didn't even know you had been a client, but she's now a staff member leading the Elevate Women Entrepreneurs program. And Liesl Barrel, who was one of our early job search clients, who went on to open her own successful company, and she continues to help with YES on committees and as a mentor. And I first met Liesl on the Women in STEM project many years ago. I think the success of YES is best seen through the success of our clients. So we would like to share just 3 of the thousands of stories with you. So we have a quick video to show you.
Hello, my name is Nathan Paul. I'm the founder of Recently Customer Suit and make sure that every piece that we create is a piece of art, not only a suit. And yes, Montreal has been a big part of my journey and my support. And because we're in time of pandemic and we have to continue to grow and change. So I personally was a microbiologist before starting a business. And I may not know everything about how to run a business or leave it alone how to design. So there was a big journey and a lot of doubt about how I could be existing after so many years. Yes Montreal has been very kind and supported me both from the technical skill set with the seminar. They give a mentorship and also sat down with me even from the management point of view to make sure I succeed and grow. Being an entrepreneur, oftentimes we feel alone, but you don't have to. Yes Montreal, not only the fact that they give me help, but they continue to reach out to make sure that I am okay.
Hello, my name is Lisa Rodell, and I was a Yes client last year. Working with Yes was really important for me in the process of settling in Montreal. I got here from Vancouver last August, and I didn't have a job. I wasn't feeling comfortable with my French, and I didn't know that many people. So I found different tools and services at Yes that really helped me overcome these issues. The first one I took was employment counseling. This really provided me with an overview of the Montreal job market, as well as guidance while I was doing my applications. But it also had some emotional impact because sometimes you get rejected, right? I really found this experience valuable for my process because I was able to connect with other people that were going through the same thing as me, same frustrations, same successes. So it was a really great experience to have a more holistic approach to this job search process. Another thing I also mentioned was French. So I figured out Yes had a French for job seekers program. I decided to join, and it really helped me not only prepare for the French part of the job seeking process, but also to feel more comfortable in my day-to-day use of French. I'm really happy to say that some of the people I met during this program are still really close to me, and actually they have become some of my closest friends in the city. So I'm really happy Yes was part of it.
My name is Emmanuel Laflamme, and I'm a visual artist. For the past 8 years, Yes Montreal has played an important role in my career. I've received artist coaching, did many workshops, I was part of the mentorship program, and I attended several artist conferences. From all the advice I received, the contacts I made, and the opportunities that followed, I came to realize the most important aspect of this path, giving back. And I want to give back as much as possible because I received so much already.
There's a lot of person behind the organization. They sincerely want to help and to make sure that we continue.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone working at Yes, to the founders, organizations, the whole team that put everything together, because the job you're doing is really important. You're helping people shape their future and find opportunities.
I want to thank all the team at Yes Montreal for helping artists like me reach their goals and live their dreams.
So I personally thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what an inspiring video. I think the testimonials you've heard in this video speaks to the values of the organization and the ripple effects we're creating and the organization is creating across the community. Just by way of an example, and I could pick so many of them, but the young man you've met there at the beginning and at the end of the video, Nathan Kong, partners with artists to make beautiful bespoke fashion, as well as local organization that he's partnered with, where he donates a portion of his proceeds towards supporting mental health initiatives. Lately, he's been working with artists struggling with mental health issues to create beautiful reusable silk face masks, which are currently available on his website. So you might want to check him out at nathankong.com. And that's just one of the so many stories we could pick on to illustrate the wonderful work that Yes does. And as Doris and Eki so eloquently said, it's our community of passionate supporters, board members who never really fully leave and keep helping in one way or another that have made Yes what it is today and has helped Yes achieve its 25th incredible anniversary milestone. And to tell us a little bit more about why he's supporting Yes as he's done in so many ways, it's my honor and pleasure to pass it on to a former board member who's joined the Yes Board of Directors in 2004, and that's Bob Walsh. So Bob, it's all yours. And don't forget to unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Just quickly on that video before I start, I'd just like to add one other testimony. About 10 years ago, we were adding quite a few engineers in the company, and I said, well, we might as well contact Yes. And sure enough, we hired a young lady called Rennie Jordan, which some of you might remember, and 10 years later, she's still with the company and doing a great job. So it's just another part of the testimonial. Why am I still involved in Yes, Jordan? You said it, it's the elastic. Can't get away from the elastic. I'd like to thank Doris and Aki for the invitation to say a few words tonight. It's something close to my heart from, I guess, the early part of the century. And just to give you a quick background, I graduated in '65, started my first company in '69 and sold the last one in 2014. Stayed on for 2 years for the integration, and so I'm officially retired for 4 years. So I don't do a lot of Zooming, but, and I've never been to a Zooming cocktail party, so I appreciate the invitation very much. I didn't know anything about Yes. I'm going now back to probably 2002. But I remember one day my assistant called me and said, there's somebody from Yes on the phone. And I said, who? And she said, Yes. I thought it'd be better to just take the call. Anyway, who was on the call? It was Iris. My first conversation with Iris. And she introduced herself and her organization and asked if she'd come in and see me. I said, sure. So probably a few days later, she came in with Colleen McKenna, who I believe went to Australia shortly after that. And very pleasant meeting. Everything was well explained. They were interested in the possibility of me joining the board. And I really got snookered because Iris said there's only a couple of meetings a year. And as most of you know that have been on the board, there's never been a couple of meetings a year. I've seen a couple of meetings a month, but I got hooked, and it was a wonderful experience. I guess, yeah, the year after that, the same year, I spoke at the Entrepreneurships Conference and then joined the board the next year. And at that time, it was Angela Brunton and then Harold Simpkins. And then I early, I guess, with John Aylen, who I got to know very well. All tremendous people. And the quality of everybody I met there, of course, the staff was very small at that time. And one person I remember very well, besides Iris, who was always there, was Fernanda. Obrigada, Fernanda, for all your, she was the go-to person at Yes, and probably still is. So I greatly appreciate your help all the time. And you're still very active. So the board was very interesting. I guess what gets you hooked is the quality of the people you're dealing with, a real broad range of people's experience that helps us all, and the dedication, I guess, is what struck me the most. And that, I think, really came from Iris with her. She was very convincing, a very patient person, but always knew where she wanted to go. And if you look at what really happened in those years, going after government funding, it was a big job, and it was done very, very well. So that's what kept me around. One thing, though, I've got to remember to tell you that we always ate very well. We had Guy's Subway sandwiches. We had Charlie's fine ice wine. Michael's Felix and Norton biscuits, cookies. Peter's Fine Beverages, and Pino's Beaver Tails. So how can you go wrong with a group like that? Then I left the board in 2009, and I'm on the advisory board. So really I guess my activities since then have been mainly helping with the fundraising. And there's still room in the elastic, Jordan, so I'm going to keep at it as long as I can. Retirement is suiting me well, but I miss a lot of the people. That's, I guess, the main thing. One thing wasn't mentioned, I guess, yet, unless I missed it, was one real interesting event. I guess it was started around 2011, if I'm not mistaken, was the Tune Into Yes, which was a huge event as far as I'm concerned, and it's grown since. So once again, congratulations to everybody. I guess why I'm still involved with Yes is because of the mission and the people. So I really ask everybody to keep up the good work, and thank you all again for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. And Iris, I guess I have another reason to thank you. You're the one who got Bob involved. You know, I can echo so much of what you said, Bob. It really is about the people, and it starts with the staff and the board, and it radiates out from there. And I'm going to use your elastic analogy, Jordan, in years to come to snap people back into action. But most people don't need a lot of pulling, which is the good thing. And I think it is really because everybody believes so much in the mission and in the way that Yes conducts itself. And I think just the support that we get from government funders speaks for the way that Yes is managed. So thank you. Thank you, Bob, for being there. It's important that we have people like you and all of our advisors that we can reach out to for help in multiple manners. And it's all those people that make the community of Yes. So we're at the part of this cocktail where we're going to ask for your participation. Jordan asked you to get out a piece of paper. And so I'm going to ask you to write down on that piece of paper in use a thick pen or a magic marker or pencil crayons, whatever. Share one word, not a sentence, just one word that represents Yes to you. And then hold it up to the screen. I'll give people a few seconds to write down their word. Don't overthink this. And then we'll hold them up to the screen for perhaps a minute, and that'll give our technical crew, Megan and many others, the opportunity to scroll through all of the screens and take pictures. And we're going to do a word cloud of all of your thoughts about Yes. So if you are ready, so you can start holding up your words. If you can keep your face with it, that's even better. We can see people and words, but if it's just the word. And Bob, I noticed you mentioned this word. I hope I didn't steal it. Oh, Megan, you're there too. Aki, you've got 2 words, but that's okay. Some of you, if you can hold it, Sam, if you can hold yours a bit closer to the screen so we can read it. Aha. Very good. Wynand, you too, if you can hold it a bit closer, I can read it now, community. Bob, you've got to hold it up a bit. Can't see it. Oh, yeah, now you can zoom out a bit. Just zoom out a bit. Oh, there we go. Results. Let me just scroll through here and see. Oh yeah, so many good words. Ron, if you can hold it in a bit. Yep, And I think, Charlie, I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so Megan, have you got enough time now? Ah, Roz, hi. Just saw you there. People, yes. Roz, another person that helped me so much over the years and continues to be active on our HR committee. Okay. So I think, Aki, it's over to you again, right?
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
Poets, all of you. Where do we go from here? Well, another era awaits us because it's so important for us to continue to be there for our community. Even before COVID, as a lot of you recognize, there were still a lot of people from our community who are left out of the job market. As a matter of fact, the new Secretariat for Relations with English-speaking Quebecers had done some research based on the 2016 census, and they determined that the unemployment discrepancy between the French-speaking population and English speakers basically equaled 12,000 jobs. In other words, we need to be able to find 12,000 jobs for English speakers in order to reduce that gap. And this is even before COVID. I also remind you that our sister communities outside of Montreal were always battling very high unemployment rates among their youth. And of course, now with COVID, those numbers are expected to explode. So we're looking at some astronomical unemployment levels, maybe around 70%. That's right, 70. So we are, again, as we look to the future, we're building on these relationships of trust, these relationships of where we are respected for what we've done. Our track record is recognized, and our partners come to us, and we're sitting down, we're having conversations about how we can be continue to be part of the solution. So, and Doris mentioned one of our very important projects is the Provincial Employment Roundtable, which was really built on our own. We had had brought together the organizations that are providing employment services in Montreal as part of a Yes Roundtable. The provincial government was very impressed with the work that we had done and adopted that model, but on a larger scale, and asked us to scale that up to a provincial roundtable, which is not just the community organizations, but it's all the actors, whether it be the universities, whether it be the vocational programs, but all the actors that have an impact on employment, for everybody to be working together, and with assurances that there would be funding for these types of initiatives to support the community. So this is just to give you an idea as to the direction that we are going in, and the fact that we are still the organization to go to look at solutions and to look at addressing especially employment challenges that the English-speaking community in Quebec faces. So I just want you to understand that. Similarly, women in STEM, advancing systemic change. I mean, we have done the job in our volunteers and the work that the committee has done, connecting, with companies that were willing to commit to putting in place models for supporting women in the tech field and creating opportunities for women. So we managed to bring it to a certain level, but now we hope to continue, to see what can be done, to continue to work with those companies and stay in touch with them. We put up, there's a website, Advancing Systemic Change. One of the deliverables was to put together a website with resources and shared experiences so this conversation can continue, and this mobilization perhaps can even grow. And also, we talked about Elevate, which we are so excited about. I mean, we are looking to be able to create opportunities for 1,000 women over the next 3 years to really be able to make their way into the entrepreneurship landscape. So these are all very groundbreaking, but also, very important initiatives for our community, for our talent to be able to realize their projects, to become autonomous, to become successful right here, whether it's in Montreal or in any community across Quebec. So the future is about, you know, continuing to build on our success and continuing to leverage our reputation and our know-how so that the community can be better served and that Quebec can be as inclusive as possible. And in this day and age, again, before COVID, you know, the competition for talent is so intense. It's a strong economy means being able to tap your talent and being able to mobilize all of your people resources. So we look forward to new partnerships. We look forward to new initiatives, always you know, around the same principles, working in partnership, but working well and really having an impact on the issues that concern our community. Now, how can you help? Well, you know, I'm going to say a few things that most of you already know, but you know, it bears repeating. There's so many ways that you can help us. Simply, you can sign up for our newsletter so that you can be, you know, as attached to our developments as possible. And we'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to continue to tell the stories of clients. So that's an important way for us to be able to share with you the results of what we're doing. So please do sign up for the newsletter. It's only once a month, so we're not going to overwhelm you, I assure you. Mentor, as you know, I always love the name of our program, Human Library, the Human Library. And some of you here are mentors, have had the experience being mentors. It's so important. It's such a, you know, an additional support that we're offering our clients. So we have the privilege of having some great experts, you know, really that have a lot to offer, who are volunteering their time and that are so supportive and that are enabling our clients to get to the next level. That is so important. And it's so enriching from what I hear from our mentors. So Steve, who's with us, can attest to that. We have lovely conversations about the experience that he's had as a mentor. So I really encourage people to consider that. Simply spread the word, be our ambassadors. You know, I knew about Yes because of my work in the community, but when I go out with my friends and I have to explain to them what Yes is, that should not be. Considering how much we've done and how we're always, you know, punching above our weight, we should be much more better known, you know, in the grassroots of our community. And considering the, you know, the type of network that we have and all of you and your successes, and I'm just asking you, please continue to be good ambassadors for us. That is very valuable, and it's justified. Committee work. We're always, you know, we're always looking at the next project. We're always looking at the next initiative. We need to be able to marshal, you know, good talent, people who want to give back to their community, who have the expertise that, you know, that everybody can benefit from. Committees. There's committee work that we would love to have you join. Volunteer for our events. I mean, our entrepreneurship speaker series is a flagship event. It's been associated with Yes. It's very popular. So many of our clients, you know, always come to the event. We get great speakers. Please, you know, some of you have been certainly have a lot of experience being speakers and participating in our speaker series. That's just one example of an event that can always be strengthened by some good support from dedicated and talented people. And donate. I mean, as you know, our core funding as an organization, we are funded through project funding. So we were, you know, an organization, and this is one of my pet peeves, 25 years of a proven track record, and we still have to negotiate for 10% slices from every project that we do in order to be funded. That should not be. We've earned the right to be properly funded and have stable, long-term, sustainable funding. So that's one of my challenges. So I think I've put out, you know, enough ideas to have you maybe look at your calendars and get you pumped up, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you.
Thank you, Aki, for this. Before we wrap it up, I'll throw in a personal comment. As we were planning this event in the early stages, Aki and I shared emails, and I asked him what would you like to see come out of this? What's the overall message? He said, if people could just get how excited, passionate, and enthusiastic we are at Yes about what we do. And I think that's just come out plenty. I must have heard the word excited about 30 times tonight, about programs, past and present. So it's really wonderful and refreshing to see that. We're going to open up the floor for networking. We're going to use the chat box for this. So you have a little chat icon at the bottom of your Zoom page. If you want to express feelings, if you have questions, you can unmute yourself and share your comment, but I'm just forewarning everybody, let's not do it all at the same time because it's going to be rather cacophonous. But before we do that, I'd like to raise a toast to the 25th anniversary of Yes and 25 more years to come under Aki's most excellent leadership and the wonderful work that everybody at Yes does.
Permit me, Jordan, I'd like maybe for our toast, just a quotation, a favorite quotation of mine. It's from Margaret Mead, the American anthropologist. And Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, that is what always has. So to you.
Hear, hear. Congratulations. So again, if you have comments, questions, I see some people have been using the chat box quite a bit during the chat. You can message each other privately, throw a comment out there to the general audience. I see some people have had to leave us for various commitments or engagements. Thanks to those who are still there. So if you have questions or comments, now's the time to share them.
Can I talk? Can people hear me?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead, Iris.
This is so wonderful in the midst of everything that's going on to just see all these faces that I feel like I've grown up with. It is just so wonderful. It is just really, really heartwarming and probably one of the most touching moments of my life to see. I'm just staring at Peter Johnson's face right here. I guess he happens to be on the screen, but seeing Ron Drennan and Bob Walsh and all of you, it's just, you became my family for 17 years and I miss you, all of you. And thank you. I don't think Yes would be where it is without all of your input. We created a wonderful child.
That's well said. I think everybody's feeling how special this first historic live event in the history of Yes, and let's hope it'll be one of many to come, but that sooner than later we can enjoy each other's company and presence. I know I miss Michael's most excellent cookies, because whenever we have a Yes event, we're often fortunate to have not just Guy's Subway sandwiches, but Michael's Mr. Felix, Mr. Norton's cookie. I have my favorite variety. I'm sure everybody does. So hopefully sooner than later, we'll all be able to meet in person. But until then, this is a wonderful way to connect and to celebrate the many successes at Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'll unmute myself. I really just want to say, all I want to say is that the word I wrote down was teamwork. And one of the first things I tell people when they ask me where I work and they ask me about my job, one of the first things I tell them is how great it is to have such a generous team. I think everybody I work with is generous in the knowledge and the time that they have and are always willing to answer a question, always willing to help. So I'm really appreciative of that. And that's it. That's all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for sharing that, Mariana.
Thank you.
If anybody else wants to share or speak to the word they put up, or want to reminisce about an event, an episode, something that took place at Yes or that they remember, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Is Peter Johnson?
Yes, we can, Peter.
Yes, I just wanted to bring up John Dobson's name in this. He died 5 years ago, but he gave us the first check, $15,000. Many of you have heard the story, but after our meeting, I ran into his office and said, I haven't got time, just write a check for $15,000 and I'll tell you about it this afternoon. He did. And so he's given now over $400,000 over the years. So I just wanted to mention his name.
Yes, thank you for serving as helping with our corporate memory there, Peter. Very important to recognize those early donors and contributors, and in the case of the Dobson Foundation, who's always been there for us. So thank you so much. I guess we possibly should have thought about how we were going to unwind this event. We thought people would be in a hurry to go on to other things, maybe finish off that glass of wine with a loved one, but it seems like a lot of people want to just
We just want to hang with you, Jordan. We want to hang with you, Jordan. You have us for tonight.
I just want to say, my husband popped in his head in and he said, you opened a very expensive bottle of wine. And you know what? There's no better reason. It's for a good cause.
Here, here, Fern.
I bet it's Portuguese wine too.
It is.
Of course. I have to say hi to Harvey. How are you doing?
Thank you very, very much. I joined a bit late, and there's a few Zooms tonight that I'll be on. So I just want to say that I was only involved for a few short years, maybe 5, before I moved on to some other commitments, but they were great years. I was happy to meet, so many new people, to attend the events. I was a supporter, I am a supporter, I will be a supporter, and I wish Yes continued success.
Thanks,
And
Harvey.
Peter-
Did you hear about Jordan's elastic theory? Jordan, tell Harvey about the elastic.
Well, my theory is that once you join Yes in any way, shape, or form, they tie an elastic to you so that you can never get away very, very far. You always end up coming back to give more, help more, because it's just this kind of organization where you just meet so many wonderful people, as Bob mentioned earlier.
It's a great analogy. I'm on other boards and other nonprofits, and I'm sure many of the people on tonight are as well.
Harvey.
Yeah. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Harvey.
I see.
Good to see you, my neighbor.
I know what your city house looks like.
Yeah.
It's identical to mine. Now I
Right.
can country, as am I. You were last seen washing your car in the driveway in Montreal. So
Yes, I have the cleanest car in westbound.
I'm going to leave a car outside my garage door if your hose reaches that far. So I'm happy to see you, because I know you've been away, and we didn't see anything going on, as many people have, if able to, have moved to different venues where they're a bit safer, but you're looking healthy. I presume Gail is equally healthy.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Gail says hello. Gail says hello.
Hi, Gail. So as I say, it's nice to see friendly faces. And these are very trying times. I'm on other boards that rely on, the largesse of the public, of sponsors, of stakeholders, whatever. Everybody's scrambling. A lot of tough decisions being made on the entities that I'm involved with, and some will end up falling by the wayside tragically, because all of the ones that I'm involved with, benefit people who need help, economically, from a food point of view, educationally, employment-wise, et cetera, et cetera. So this is quite the scourge that we're living through, that we all hope will end soon, but will probably last longer than we want to, and I'm sure will alter our lives in many ways. But I'm really hoping that Yes, sustains and is able to get to the other side of this, deep ravine. And, I'm going to take a guess and say that most of the people like me feel that we now have 2 plagues, one going on in Washington and then COVID. I'm not sure which makes me feel worse, but anyways, hopefully we'll get through it. Hopefully the sun will come out at some point in time, and the 3 days we had last week was not summer, and this is not fall. But anyway, I wish everybody good health, stay safe, do what you can to help Yes, you know, writing checks or doing, you know, mentoring, which I never felt I was up to doing. And I hope that Yes will be around for another 25. That's my wish.
Thanks, Harvey. The good news is the Yes staff and board members are so resilient, so creative. I have no doubt we'll be able to weather this storm and we'll come out at the other end stronger. And again, having created so many ripple effects like some of those you saw in the video, there's a saying, I'm from the world of marketing, and we often say, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So I'm sure we'll all be up for that challenge. I know the staff just putting on this event, and staff is already thinking ahead to how we might pull off a tune into Yes and other things like that, and how do we reinvent ourselves in this online environment. I'm from the world of education. We're all facing that particular dilemma right now, and I'm sure many other nonprofits are as well. But I look at all the faces still hanging around 10 minutes after our official pastime, and I know that there's so many committed and motivated people who want to help. And I know some people have to leave. Feel free to leave whenever you have to. But if you want to share some other story or reminisce about previous times with Yes, please go ahead. Yes, Iris.
I saw Simon. Simon Restall still on the call? Simon, are you still there?
Yes, Simon still shows as he's on the guest list.
How are you?
Can I share a really quick story that Simon worked at the bank and was one of our funders at one point and a board member. And it was, I think, our first or second Tune Into Yes event. And we were selling raffle tickets, and Simon had donated box seats to a hockey game.
Yes, what a story that is.
Would you like to share it, Simon?
Well, I think it had something to do with someone who came into the event and got his hands on those tickets somehow, without actually being a bidder, if I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Luciano kindly volunteered, because he was going to the game also. He kindly volunteered to stand at the door at the box seats of the Molson Center.
Yeah.
To show up with the tickets that got stolen from our fundraiser. And it was a Saturday night, and I was on the phone with Luciano as the man was approaching Luciano, and Luciano had to play stand at the door and threaten the guy that he was going to call security if he didn't leave. Luciano, are you there?
I just want to be clear, Iris, it wasn't a threat. It was more of a promise to the guy. It was really more of a promise. And the promise was that if you don't leave now, then we'll involve Bell Center security. So that was, I think that's how we left it. And luckily Simon and everyone else, I think we were able to save the day on
Yeah.
that.
I think the whole reason why we were a bit cautious about that is because we had some customers there too from the bank, right? So we had to make sure that we didn't know who this character was. So I don't remember quite the end of that story, but I think you're right. This person did end up showing up, if I remember correctly, right?
And he sold one of the tickets to some poor lady who was sitting.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But I think you decided that she was quiet and you were going to allow her to be there. But this was Simon's introduction to Yes. And here he is 20 years later sitting on the phone with us. So thank you, Simon. And thank you, Luciano, for saving the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Great teamwork.
There are many takeaways to that story. One of them is don't mess with Luciano.
Yeah.
And he did take off with a bottle of wine that somebody had purchased, and Andrew Abdallah was kind enough to replace the bottle of wine.
Right.
So it was quite the fiasco, but it's really nice to be able to look at it later. And like I said, to see Simon still involved. So thank you. Thank you, Luciano.
Can I say something?
Yes,
I don't know.
go ahead.
I don't know everybody here, I haven't been on the board, but I've been involved. I was trying to remember how many years. Iris, maybe you can help me out, but I've been involved, not consistently, but in and out for, it's maybe been at least 15, maybe even 20 years, but in different capacity than being a board member. You know, I've been involved with the Business Skills Conference. I did workshops. I'm coming back again now. I'm going to be a mentor. And interestingly enough, as an artist and in a period of time where things are sort of in a bit of upheaval, and I'm a big believer in the sort of circular the way of life where the same people keep on coming back into your life throughout your career and you stay involved with them, like Yes, for most of your time, is that yesterday I had a coaching session with one of the coaches because I wanted to kind of brainstorm about some new ideas I have for my own work. And it was wonderful. I mean, it was informative and it was helpful, and it gave me an opportunity to sort of talk to myself, but with somebody else listening and giving me some feedback. And that was the first time I've ever done that. So, you know, I feel like I've touched on lots of different places, and I think it's a fantastic organization, and which is why I continue to be involved in it and continue to talk about it. So congratulations to all of you and Iris, and, you know, we'll still be around.
That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that, Linda.
Jordan, may I?
Yes, of course. Go ahead,
Okay,
Luciano.
I didn't know if you were keeping a list or, so I just wanted to say it's been a real honor for me to be involved with Yes, and I'm still helping in any way I can, of course, but and a real privilege to meet, I mean, most of you on these, I call them Hollywood Squares. I don't know if those of you remember that show, but you know, a real privilege to have met a lot of you and turned into some real friendships over the years. And I can't believe how long it's been, but and I forgot that story of the night that I made a promise to that person stealing tickets from us. But so many nice stories and so many nice things that we've done in the community. And I'm always really proud of when I meet people that say that they've either used their services or you know, or even going to a webinar or whatever. I attended a webinar the other night and saw some people that I know joined that. And so it's great. We're doing great work and really proud to be involved and really proud to have made the friendships that I've made over the years. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, I'll echo those sentiments because you and I met through Yes, Luciano, and it's been one of the great, wonderful gifts that life has bestowed upon me is meeting you and other people on the board and on the various committees. Bob has said it perfectly when he shared his connection with Yes earlier, that you meet really wonderful people through Yes. So thank you. I'm going to use that opportunity to say goodbye to everybody. It's been great to see you all, and I will leave you keep networking. I guess if I log back on in a few hours, there might still be some people networking and drinking. So have a wonderful night. It's been an honor to share this moment with you. So thank you for joining in. I'll leave you.
Thank you.
Merci,
Bye,
Jordan.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So please, I mean, keep the stories flowing. It's not that we have a very busy social calendar.
Speak for yourself, Aki.
Good one.
I'm just kidding. I have nowhere else to be there.
I just wanted to hop in with just a quick comment. Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth, one of the business coaches at Yes. If you don't already know me, I've been there for almost 6 years now. And I have to say, I encounter one of two things. Sometimes people don't know about us. So Aki, I echo exactly what you're saying. I'm like, what? How could you not know? But that's okay, because once they do find out about us, it's just the feedback that I hear all the time is just really spectacular in terms of the quality of events that we put on, the caring staff, like how people always go the distance to really help support our clients' success, the great programs that we're rolling out, the fact that we're so involved with like the ecosystem community and other respective communities. So I'm always hearing fabulous stuff, and so many of the people that I know, including my clients, are always referring other people to us, or people will come and meet with them and say, oh, so-and-so referred me to you guys. So the fact that we get so much word of mouth to me is just so impressive. And it's been such a joy and a delight being with you guys. I just wanted to squeeze in one last thing, but I do have a disclaimer for anybody wearing a headset or earphones. Now would be the time to take them out. So once again, you want to remove them at this point in time because it's a 25-year anniversary. Congratulations. Woo! 25 years. Congrats, everybody.
You know how to party, Liz. Well, let's continue. I mean, you're all in the family. Let's continue to stay in touch. We're going to be doing. You'll see. We're now with Kathy with us and having somebody really looking after our communications in a full-time way. You can be sure that you're going to be hearing from us, and we're going to be encouraging a lot more connections like this. So hopefully the next ones can be a little more personal. Thank you, everybody, for, we really made the best of a hard situation. And as I told my team, let's change the channel tonight. Let's not forget who we are, the great legacy, and let's have some fun and really kick back. And I think we did that. And I certainly, this is like the most relaxed I've been in the last 11 weeks. So thank you to many more like this. And you know where I am always, if to chat, to meet, to shoot the breeze, to brainstorm. Would be a pleasure to do that with all of you. So on to the next chapter and chapters. We've got the people, we've got the know-how, so the future should be really fine for us. Thank you, and be well, and you know where we are.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being there. Oh, this is so cute, all these waving hands.